What's up, guys? It's Oblivious Gamer here, and well, this is just gonna be my brief impressions on Tribe 9, which I managed to play a bit of the beta, not too much, but that's why, at least I want to talk a bit about, show it a bit more, and just give some thoughts after putting my time. This is a game that's being developed by Too Kyo Games, a company that was founded back in 2017, originally founded by ex-employees of Spike Chunsoft. It was formed by the Danganronpa series creator Kazutaka Kodaka, Zero Escape series creator Kotaro Uchikoshi, composer Masafumi Takada, and artist Rui Komatsuzaki. This is a company that really hasn't done too many games, I would say. I mean, they have done some visual stuff with Death Come True and World's Ends Club. Just recently, they did release Master Detective Archives Raincoat it first came for the Switch, and then it came out for the PS5, Windows, and Xbox Series, or it's supposed to come out, though the game was published by Spike Chunsoft and co-developed with them. They also do have an upcoming game, which is the 100th Line Last Defense Academy, which is published by Aniplex, and it's co-developed also with Media Vision. Now, Tribe 9 is going to be their game. It's their project that they have been working. This is a game that was announced originally back in 2020, with the first trailer coming out around that time, and then in September 2021, it was revealed that it was going to be a action role-playing game for smartphones. Now, Tribe 9 also has an anime, which came out 2022, though from my understanding, you really don't have to watch the anime to be able to play this game. There's not a lot going on here, but yeah, they kind of also released an anime. Tribe 9 is a gacha game, and it's supposed to be a 3D action role-playing game. From the beta that I played, I was a bit surprised with a lot of the stuff that happened. I really enjoy the chibi, 2D sprites, and then when we go into combat, it transforms into 3D playing with 3D characters and models that look alright, they don't look bad at all. During dialogue, we get to see the characters interacting, and a big thing that highlighted me was, which I always like when we're having dialogue and you see the characters' emotions, you see their facial interactions. So it's not just them speaking and looking stoic. You actually have some facial movements, of facial changes, and you're you can immediately see their emotions. So I thought that was really nice. The story is very heavy, which I was quite surprised for this, that it's supposed to be this is supposed to be a gacha game, and it's going to be on smartphones. It will be available on PC, but it's mostly iOS and Android. It's very story-based. There was a lot dialogue that was going through. A lot of exposition, a lot of reading, it's quite the amount. So I would say if you're not a fan of this visual novel style, I don't know if you're going to like it too much. Though the game does give you the option to skip if you want, but since this game is very heavy with story and dialogue and the visual novel aspect, or these interactions that the characters are having, I don't know if I would recommend too much to skip if you just want to play the game. In terms of combat, it's one of the aspects of the game is the 3D combat, or the 3D action combat. It's alright. You have a attack button, you also have a special button, and then eventually you unlock a super, and then a combination attack that you can do. So you will unlock a combination move that you can do with your party, and then you will unlock a super that you can do. In terms of flow, it's not bad, but it's also not too quick. The game does value that you dodge, so you have to time a bit your dodge with the movement, and dodging does have benefits. So you have a dodge, which you get a small animation, and then if you do a perfect dodge, it slows down time and you're able to attack the enemies. So I thought that was pretty cool, you looking for those perfect dodges that will be definitely try to take advantage in fights. There are boss fights. The boss fights, though, depending on the situation, can be tough. A big thing that doesn't really help you out is the combat has a meter, which is it's your tension meter. Because in this game you get tension cards which affect your abilities and affect stats and affect some like critical events in the fight, and you can build up your tension meter up to EX or 3, and the enemy can do the same thing. And a big problem with the combat is if you have a dumb teammate, so if your AI teammate is dumb, your opponent is just building their tension meter and constantly going EX, which I've had those situations happen. And it can be quite frustrating because when your opponent or your enemies are on EX mode, they're a lot more stronger. And they can wipe you out. Boss fights can easily wipe you out, especially in EX. So you could say there is some challenge there, but in all honesty, a lot of times it felt like, the opponent, the enemy's going on EX because my teammate is dumb and just getting hit and just helping the enemy's tension just increase. But yeah, I mean, it's not enjoyable, but yeah, I could see that like some people might like the combat and others definitely might not. It's not very fast paced. And then you have like the XB or XG, which is kind of like a baseball minigame, or it pretends to be baseball in a way. And you have to like, you're interacting with the opponent, and then you have to like select a piece of dialogue, and depending on how the dialogue goes, you will either hit the ball, well, depending on where you're, but you can hit the ball, and then your characters can move bases, or vice versa. It's baseball, but kind of like what you expect with a lot of the games that like the creator of Danganronpa and the creator of Zero Escape has done, where like dialogue has an importance and they're like choosing of dialogue that can affect the outcome. So you do have that here also. A lot funner than what I expected, so I'm a bit sad that this is a game that is going to become a gacha game, and also it's only going to be, at least for now, available on Android and PC. I personally think this could have been enjoyed by a lot of people if it came out as a full-fledged game, fully developed, and put it on all the platforms there is. You can even put it on phones if you want. But, I don't know, it just sucks that way. I always say I'm not a huge mobile phone guy, so I do appreciate I do have the option of like, if I want to play the game, I can play it on PC. But I just feel it limits the audience, which is kind of like what I felt with Master Detective Archives Raincoats. It came out on the Switch, which is fine. The Switch has a lot of, has a big audience base. But I feel it limited itself, because like if we have come out for PS5, PC, and Xbox like it's gonna do now, I think the game would have sold a lot better and more people were gonna talk about the game. It's just me though, like it's one of those situations where it's like, just wish it wasn't gacha and it was like a full-fledged game, because the characters look fine. I love the art style and design. The world is interesting. They don't fuck around. Like, if you know what Danganronpa and Zero Escape do, like, they don't hide it. So the game can also be very surprising and very violent. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts, guys? Have you tried? Did you try Tribe 9? Is this something that interests you? Feel free to leave your thoughts down below. This has been Oblivious Gamer, and I hope you'll have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.